Every year, over 12 million Africans leave the continent, chasing dreams, escaping conflicts, or seeking better education and work opportunities. From Europe to Asia, from the Americas to the Middle East, the African footprint is present, visible, and growing worldwide. But with this movement comes a mirror, a global gaze that too often sees us through a single, distorted lens. Crime, illegal migration, low-skilled labor, and dependency. The result? A narrative that reduces the brilliance of a continent into a cautionary tale. And yet, here is the irony. The world runs on Africa. Africa holds over 30% of the world's mineral reserves. The Democratic Republic of Congo alone produces over 70% of the world's cobalt, a mineral essential for the batteries in electric vehicles and smartphones. Ghana is the second largest gold producer in Africa. Nigeria sits on over 37 billion barrels of oil reserves. And now lithium, the white gold, is being discovered across the continent in commercial quantities. Africa is not a poor continent. This is a rich continent exploited by poor system. But here lies the contradiction. While African soul births brilliance, too many of our brothers and sisters abroad are becoming symbols of shame. It's not everyone, but it's not enough to stain the image of millions. So the question is, what can we do differently? How can we as Africans abroad reclaim our narrative? Not by force, but by character, by excellence, by responsibility, and by choosing to be our very best selves in a world already eager to misunderstand us. In this video, we will interview Mr. Godfrey, an ESL teacher based in Vietnam, an African who has lived and worked across borders and who has seen firsthand the good, the bad, and the necessary changes we must make. In this honest conversation, we'll unpack the realities of life abroad and look into what every African can do to protect our name, our legacy, and our future.
So, you've seen the clips, you've seen the videos, you've heard, you have witnessed. What is your perception? What do you think about all of these things, especially as it affects the image of Africa as a continent?
Yeah, it's actually very terrible because Africans abroad, in the diaspora, especially the diaspora community of Africans, the perception or the attitude of a lot of Africans who are living abroad has actually affected people who are abroad, home and abroad, actually, because it boils down to people who are innocent, people who have done nothing, people who are back home in Africa, who wants to leave Africa and go to other countries
for different reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons. It may be tourism, it may be for greener pastures,
for
school, may be for school, whatever the reason is that they have. I think that the attitude of many Africans, I do not want to specify certain regions or countries
or nationality,
or nationalities, but I am very sure with the clips and the things that we have seen, experienced firsthand as well, in the various places that we have lived or we have traveled to, it has in one way or the other affected us. Me personally, I've been to places where immediately I try to enter those countries, even at the immigration borders and all of that, and they see my passport, they're like, oh, you are from a certain country like this, because it has affected us negatively in a way that even though in our countries we have a lot of amazing resource or a lot of natural resources or endowments that we have far better than many of those countries that will try to
go to.
If not for the bad system that we have back in Africa, it has really affected us negatively, that they just tag you in a certain light, in a wrong light, not because you have done nothing, right? You haven't done anything, but they just size you and then they want to run a background check on you, just because you are from a certain country, and not because they have anything on you in per se, but because of what our African brothers and sisters they've done abroad.
I think that people around the world already have this perception about Africa, about Africans, and the behavior of Africans, especially the negative behaviors, can really go a long way to, push the wrong narrative further. And this is something that we really need to look into. So what are some behaviors, some attitudes that are being displayed by Africans around the world that can really push these wrong agendas or these perception about Africa? What are some characters that we as Africans, we display and we should not display in order to put Africa in the brighter light?
The most notable one of them is violence.
Violence,
Violence, entitlement, right? A lot of Africans, they have this defensive attitude, where they become very violent, when they try to assess some things, try to do some things. It becomes out of reach for them, right? They feel that they are supposed to have those things, right? But
so is it like they have some sort of entitlement mentality?
Yes, they have entitlement mentality because I think growing up in Africa, I wouldn't say it's the African thing. I would say that it's the environment. Right? The environment, and especially the government, the system back home. It has really affected a lot of people in Africa that makes them feel that when they go to some regions or when they're in some places, they are entitled to some things.
I see.
They become entitled to privileges which ought not to be, right? Many of them, they are violent in the aspect of some of the things that they do back home.
So are you saying that the environments, the African environment pushes the average African man to be a violent person? Is that what you're saying?
I am not in particular saying that the environment makes people violent. I feel that the environment contributes to the behavior of a lot of people. It is often said that it is not what happens to a man that actually matters. It is what a man does. It is the reaction of the man to what happens to him. That actually
that's
counts.
right.
So a lot of people, they are unable to absorb the things that happens to them, and the aftermath of that is violence, is bad behaviors, is entitlement. Right? It's been dramatic. So it has put Africa in a very bad light in the eyes of a lot of people, especially some nationalities that have rightly been pointed out because of the behaviors of most of the people there from those regions. And not everybody. It's just like the sea. You can see this place right now, right? You see this lake or stream, whatever it is.
Lake.
You can count water.
No, you can't. You can't.
Right? So you can't say because a drop of water is dirty, it means that every other person.
So what you're saying is like you're trying to tell the viewers, the world, that you don't have to judge every African because of a general perception or because certain Africans are doing certain things.
Not at all.
So you mentioned violence. Are there other things? Because for me, I have seen a lot of things, a lot of crazy videos, of how some Africans even go to other countries and they engage themselves in cult activities, gangs and prostitution and so many other things. And this is not peculiar to Africa. This is not peculiar to Africa. But again, we're trying to change the narrative. We're trying to change. We're trying to sensitize, right? We're trying to make people understand that as an African man, as an African woman, there are certain things that you shouldn't do, you cannot do, because I think when a country gives you a visa to come into their country, you owe them one responsibility: be civil, be responsible. So what is your appeal to our African brothers around the world as to how they should behave, how they should act, and how they should help, push Africa, push a better narrative about Africa, and putting us in that, bright side instead of the negative side all the time.
Yeah, I would advise that people should be well mannered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of African people, they
Yeah.
come from good homes.
Yeah.
But the society has negatively impacted many of them because of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Right. Many of the young lads, they become cultists.
Yeah.
And when they go abroad, they want to exhibit these same violent characters. Right. They want to continue that act abroad.
Yeah.
But they forget that the system abroad is different from the system in Africa. Right?
Yeah.
The system abroad is organized.
It's organized.
Right? It is structured.
Are you saying Africa isn't organized?
Yeah, I would say that Africa would have been more organized,
Yeah.
like the Western world.
Yeah.
But our leaders,
Yeah.
the government makes
Yeah.
it a very terrible, makes it a nightmare for people
Yeah.
to actually live and live comfortably. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Africa. So I would advise that the disease from any of these acts
Yeah.
and all of the things that they do that brings Africa or puts Africa in a wrong light.
In the wrong light.
Yeah, because a lot of people look forward to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
world actually looks forward to Africa because Africa has a lot of.
Africa is blessed.
Yeah, Africa is blessed. Africa has so many things.
Absolutely.
That, the world is coming to Africa to explore.
To explore.
Right? So if Africans who are in the diaspora keep doing things that puts Africa in a very bad light, I think it speaks negatively of the continent.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. And, this video is all about, creating awareness. And Africa is beautiful. Africa is great. Mama Africa is just, I don't think there is any word to describe that continent. But we are begging our African brothers and sisters around the world, wherever you find yourself, just bring out the best in you. Make sure that you obey the rules and the regulation. Make sure that you respect the country. Make sure that you do not, cause problems there. Because, when an African man does something, one African man, no one is gonna look at that African man. They're gonna say Africa. As a matter of fact, for some other countries, they can mention, this country, that country, but they don't even know. Many of them are not sensitized enough to know that.
Mention individuals.
Yeah.
To say that this individual did this thing.
Yeah.
Once it comes
When it comes to Africa,
they
they
peg
just
it on the
Africa
continent.
and Africa.
Yeah.
So please, I love Africa. He loves Africa. We all love Africa. Even non-Africans love Africa. But we are trying to say, let us make sure that we push the right narrative about Africa. And if you are new here, I am GP, and here we have.
I'm Go Swift.
Thank you, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel and let us keep spreading the good news. Thanks for watching.